Take this overboard now.
Hey T Squad, it's me Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade, Ready to Love Season 7 Episode 6 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only and alleged, so if that works for you, then let's get into tonight's review. The episode begins with the guys meeting with Tommy in the lounge, and he tells them that week he wants them to concentrate on their promising connections, ask all the hard questions, and that at the end of the week, he's going to have a group dinner where he can see for himself the compatibility between all of the singles. But at the end of the meeting, he does not mention who had the power. Normally he'll say, okay, this is the guys week. You have the power to, send one lady home or vice versa. And he did not do that. And that has the guys on pause wondering exactly what is going to happen. So we have Blake, Anthony, Lyndon, Mercedes, Cynthia, and SueAnn. SueAnn is her name, but I call her SueAnn. They all have a group date at this obstacle course, and it looked like they had so much fun. I want to do an obstacle course so bad. Oh my goodness. So Anthony is really feeling Mercedes and Cynthia. He likes both of the ladies for different reasons, and he and Mercedes have a one-on-one conversation, and she states how she's intimidated by the things he needs from a woman, considering the fact that he has a daughter and she's never, I guess, dated anyone with children. She does not have children, but he does put her mind at ease and just tells her, to relax into it. It's not a rush and everything. And they have, a little something going on there, but all I could concentrate on was her eyebrows. Good Googa Mooga. I didn't know if I was in the 30s or in 2023. Them eyebrows was horrendous. Lyndon has a one-on-one with SueAnn, and he asks her why she hasn't been hitting him back when he's been hitting her up. And she was like, I told you guys that this is going to be hard for me. I was asleep or whatever. So I don't know if she works nights or whatever. But it was just obvious that there was nothing there. Like, she's not into him. And she should have just said that instead of kind of like stringing him along. I mean, if he paid attention to the signs, he would get it. And I think that he did in that moment. But I would have rather for her just to say, I like Blake and that's where I'm concentrating my energy on. But outside of Mercedes' horrendous eyebrows, let's get into SueAnn's wig. Child, she didn't put so much concealer or foundation or powder on that part that it is turned orange, child. I need for her to wash that and get a color that actually matches her skin tone, because that is a no, ma'am. I need for you to exit stage left with that wig. So since Lyndon has struck out with SueAnn, he then pulls Mercedes to have a talk, and he just blatantly asks her, do you like me? And she was so caught off guard by that. Like, she was umming and ahhing, and she just honestly tells him that she gets more of a friend vibe for him. And that's what I respect about Mercedes, that she wasn't, beating around the bush. She just let him know what it was. And he did not think that she would say that. Like, he was totally caught off guard. Like, Lyndon is just striking out with the ladies, and he don't know what to do with himself at this point. And I kind of felt bad for Shorty a little bit. But I feel like there's something more boyish than manly about Lyndon that maybe the girls aren't really vibing with. He comes across more like a little brother than somebody you would want to date. Maybe that's just me. So SueAnn and Gerald from Hey Arnold, aka Blake, they have a one-on-one. And, he giving her the googly eyes, making sure them dimples on display. And she keep on flipping her hair to the side and got her legs up. And she eventually just gets up and sits on the man's lap, and they share a little kiss or whatever. And it's obvious that they really like each other, and she like him and he like her. But I'm like, girl, it is something very concerning about Mr. Blake. I just see him being in a Lifetime movie. It's just something off about that man. But since she's such a pick me, I'm gonna let you pick him, girl, and deal with the outcome. Blue and Jeffrey have a one-on-one date, and she says in her confessional that she needs for him to be more assertive. And she actually ends up saying that to him during the date. And he replies with, we're just getting to know each other. It takes a little time to know the do's and don'ts. And I respect that, because you have to know like people's boundaries and, how far they're willing to go. You just don't want to assume that it's okay to kiss or touch or hug or whatever, because nowadays people will assume that you're trying to assault them or something. Like, you just got to be real careful. And these people have jobs, they're on this reality TV, they don't need nothing crazy happening. So I understood where he was coming from, but there is something about Blue that does just scream grandpa. Like, I do need for him to pick it up somewhat. Like, geez, like he's a little bit too laid back and slow when it comes to courting a woman. Lyndon and Morgan go out on a date, and she's his last connection. Like, if this doesn't work out, he has 3 strikes and he is out. So she says that she wants to establish the chemistry between them and the spark, because with Tony, he coming with it. Like, he letting her know what's up, and she needs that same type of energy coming from Lyndon. But she does tell him that she is more transparent with him than she is Tony, and that makes him feel good. At the end of their date, she says she enjoyed it, but she still feels like Tony is more assertive. And once again, I just get friendly vibes when it comes to Lyndon. Like, I can't take you serious when you got on hoochie daddy shorts and no socks, tennis shoes, and your legs crossed, giving me bad B energy. Like, are you a city girl or are you a city boy? Like, I just don't know. It's not coagulating. Tony and Marcia, along with her Jody Watley hairstyle, go on a one-on-one date. Like, I hate her hair. I hate the color. It's just too much. It's giving Lion King realness, but she like it, honey. I love it. So he feels like she's not coming as hard as Morgan. Like, Morgan is letting him know that she want him, that she want to be the one. And Marcia is still playing it cool, flirting just enough, but ain't really saying what it is. So she says that, she has to warm up and trust the connection first before she just like fully throw herself at somebody. And I get that and I understand it. So she makes a statement. She was like, so you're there. And he was like, you and Morgan. And I guess that was her way of saying, like, who are you seeing at the end, or who are you vibing the most with? And he says, you and Morgan. And she was like, nah. And in her confessional, she was like, why would he say that? Like, So I guess she just wanted for him to say that he was only feeling her. But I respect the fact that he told her the truth and just wasn't sitting up there just feeding her a story. Like, he was honest with you. And that's what you want in a situation that they're in. So Tony lets her know that it seems like Morgan is more aggressive. So, like, if you want me, grab me, like, let me know what's up. So he's put her on, notice that that's what he's looking for. So at this point, I guess, either she gonna step up to the plate or she's not. But with Tony, when it comes to his interactions and conversations with Morgan and Marcia, it just comes across forced and machismo and just suave raritora. Like, it just seems like he's being performative and like he just trying to get in their draws. It doesn't give me real, honest, true connection. It just gives me more surface level sexual attraction. Mark Anthony plans a date with himself, Jeffrey, Tony, and Jonique. And they all have lunch with each other. And Jeffrey and Mark Anthony's connection is so strong. Like, they were just flirting and giving each other the googly eyes the whole entire time. So Mark begs the question, do you have an idea of the type of man that you want? And Jonique says, I want a man that knows what he wants, but he isn't cocky or conceited. They just know their value. And they put me and our family first before anything except God. And Tony was like, ooh, I like that, honey. Like, he was getting riled up at what she was talking. Like, she was talking that talk. And he got the grinning and skinning and stuff. And so Jonique was like, I want a man I could confide in and trust and know he's going to keep those things no matter what happens between us, because he's solid. And Tony was like, whew, very well spoken. Very well spoken. Yeah, I totally agree. All that suave crap went out the door. And in his confessional, he was like, my connections were with Marcia and Morgan, but everything changed when I sat down with Jonique. And this is the second time that he said that. Every time he has an interaction and a conversation with Jonique, like, he loves what he's hearing from her. And Jonique is a very pretty girl. She seems like she has a lot going for herself. She does have her ratchet ghetto side, but she's not a dum-dum by a long shot. And this conversation proves that. And with Jonique, I feel like he actually likes her, and she poses a challenge for him. And I think that he knows with her, she don't play no games, and she ain't gonna be all up on his, D like Morgan and Marcia. Like, she gonna make you come for her, make you chase her. Whereas I feel like Morgan and Marcia have already let it known that, like, you can get it whenever you want it, pretty much. Jonique says that she likes her connection with Tony, but there was none whatsoever with Mark Anthony, so that's dead in the water. So it's the day of the group dinner, and Lyndon and Morgan sit down and have a one-on-one conversation again. And, they're vibing with one another. He's flirting with her, saying all the right things, and she's smiling. And Tony in his confessional was like, she over there buttering Lyndon up to where he feels like he has a chance, but it's no effing way in the world knowing I'm in the mix. And so I'm like, at this point, what's up? Like, are you going to concentrate on Jonique or you not? Like, I feel like with Tony, he know that Jonique might be the one for him, like the one that he could actually have a true connection with. But his ego want to show that he got Morgan and Marcia like on lock. So I think that that's going to get in his way with Jonique, because he want to let the other guys know, like, that's me. And he want to make sure that their connections with other guys don't go any further, because he want them to all be on him. Like, he want to be that alpha dude in the group that got the most girls, got the baddest girls, this, that, and the third. And I think it's more, like I said, an ego thing and a game to him. Whereas Jonique, I think that there could really be something there, even though I don't like him. I don't think that he would be the one for her, but I think that she would be the one for him and give him a challenge at the end of the day. Tommy joins the singles, and he lets everyone know that Andre called and said that he's now COVID free and wants to return to the show. And he asks, does anybody oppose of this situation? Jeffrey looked like she wanted to boo-boo on herself, child. She was so taken aback. And she says in her confessional that this whole time she hasn't been able to stop thinking about Andre. Cynthia missed him too, because, Cynthia had a really strong connection with him. Everybody says that he should come back. Nobody opposed to it. Andre then returns with his Medea microphone on his forehead. And I noticed right off the bat when he walked in to take his seat that he rubbed Cynthia's arm, letting her know, like, yeah, I still want that. I ain't forgot about you. And I'm pretty sure that they still been talking on the phone this whole entire time. So Tommy lets everybody know that they're at the halfway mark of the process, and that night, one woman and one man will be going home. So everybody is shook. And he also lets them know that they're going to open up the floor and put everything out on the table. Like, everything is about to be said in front of everybody, not separately. So Andre kicks it off and says to Mercedes that he was disappointed that she didn't reach out to him really while, he was sick. And she basically just lets him know that she was focused on her other connections. Like, oh, well. So Marcia then tells Anthony that, she's been able to connect with him more outside of the process than during the process. And Jeffrey, displays her issues with Anthony as well. Like, it's a lot of the girls that just kind of feel like he not doing enough. So Cynthia, Jonique, and SueAnn also question Mark Anthony, like they ain't really feeling him. They ain't really no connection there. So Tony tells SueAnn that honestly, he didn't even know why she was there. And Andre hasn't connected to her either. So then Blake says that he never said that Jeffrey was his one and that he didn't want to continue on with the process. And I'm like, oh, now you got the balls to finally say what it is, but you couldn't say it to her one-on-one. You'd rather do it in front of everybody. I just don't like that man. It is just something very unsolved mysteries about him. I don't like it, Bernie. Nope, 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 nope. So, Jeffrey was like, he misses the mark with being authentic, and SueAnn wants to insert herself with my relationships with the men. I just feel like you need to concentrate on you and I'll concentrate on me. And SueAnn was like, that's not true. I don't care what you do. Don't call my name. Keep my name out your mouth. And they going back and forth. And Jeffrey was like, okay, advocate Sue. All right, girl. Goodbye. Like, whatever. And who was that said, I think it was Lyndon in his confessional that said he hadn't even known anything about the fact that there was issues between Jeffrey, SueAnn, and Blake, and he thinks that that Jeffrey is the one telling the truth and not Blake. And I mean, from what I've seen, I think that Jeffrey is telling the truth. I do firmly believe that Blake said it. He gives me very much weirdo vibes, and I just don't like him at all. Overall, I'm gonna give tonight's episode of Ready to Love a C+. It was cute. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.